Any noises you can hear aren't me eating a Kit Kat and drinking coffee. I know, right? They polish it like it's a actual release product. It's yeah. No. Shit, son. Petro, don't try and play more music. Hello. And welcome. I don't know why I'm putting my headphones on. I don't need them. Look how bald my head is. Look how pristine my beard is on my upside down head. Welcome to some Star Citizen talky stuff. I've got coffee. I'm like Dodger now. Coffee. Actually, we'll release our own BoredGamer. That's what happens as I swell up from not really doing any exercise and eating everything I want and just doing YouTube. BoredGamer coffee is what I was trying to say. Yeah, so hello. Today I wanted to talk about some stuff, as I always will when I do these, I suppose. but more relating to some of the changes they've talked about recently in Alpha 3.0. This is stuff like the possibility of adding bind culling, the tests that they've been doing with 60 plus people in servers with the Avocado builds and stuff, and actually getting good results. When I say good results, I mean 30 plus frames a second when everyone's around each other doing shit. So that's pretty fucking awesome. A little bit about the Saber and the Optane drives. I'm not a massive fan of the Optane drives, purely based on price. Like, they are the best of the best, those Optane drives, for loading times. They're not going to give you any in-game gains, unless something magical happens and that changes, which it won't. You're better off buying RAM, CPU, GPU upgrades and stuff for your PC. If you've got a load of fucking money, and you want the best of the best, and you're an enthusiast or whatever, or you want the Saber Raven and you don't have an SSD at all, then fuck yeah, the Octane is for you. Thank you very much, Lord Creo. See, I got a name right. Bam! I'm knocking it out of the fucking park today. But, yeah, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about, well, we can talk about 3.0 alpha, bugs-wise now. There are more bugs and tasks to do than there were last week. Basically watching the ATV. We'll know more about it later, after the schedule report from today, and that will give us more accurate, up-to-date information. The burn down that they do is great for seeing some insight about what the studios are actually doing, in a sort of like a fly-on-the-wall documentary-esque way, but it's not as tangible information. Well, it's not as in context until we actually see the schedule or production report from the website, and that gives a lot more context and everything, and then a lot more information because of that. For people that are interested as well, people love this thing, so I will always paste it, pretty much the most up-to-date one that I can find in the channel every day that I stream. This is the size comparison chart, and it's been updated for the new ship matrix. The new ship matrix is live, for people that didn't know still. I always talk about this as well, because it's awesome. It's got all the latest updates on information on all the ships now on the RSI website. So you can see the actual current plans and balance for everything, with hard points and sizes and everything. And we can see that the Javelin is now Mahusive. You can see the Pioneer on there as well. You can see some pretty massive ships, like the Endeavour's pretty big, and all that sort of stuff now. Got the fucking coffee, mate. So, after we go through some of the stuff that I want to talk about, I will take questions. When we get to that stage, if in brackets you put question and then your question, it can be anything. It can be about Alpha 3.0. It can be about Evocati stuff. Very unlikely I'll be able to answer any of the Evocati stuff, or if I do, it will be a very sweeping generalisation of typically Evocati patches are quite buggy. Things like that. You can ask stuff about me, about the channel, about plans for the future, about orgs, about Alpha 3.0, about Star Systems development in general, about anything. Fuck it. We get a lot of the same questions asked again and again. I probably will make a little FAQ that I can pop up for people that ask a question that's been asked multiple times before, and we'll do something like that for next time. I'll work on something. But Sean Tracy confirmed on a New Egg video. So New Egg had a video-y thing where they talked about the Saber Raven, the Optane drives, a little bit of tech, and a little bit about the game. So Sean Tracy there, and a guy from Intel. Yeah, and they were basically trying to sell Optane drives on the Newegg site. There's details below if you're trying to get Optane drives from America. If you're trying to get Optane drives from the UK, I very much recommend at the moment Overclockers UK, because they have the cheapest ones. They have gone up by £10, it looks, today actually, or yesterday, but they were good for the Optane drives. And the crux of the Optane stuff is, for me, that I wouldn't have bought one unless the channel had donated money for me to buy one. Obviously, if they'd sent me one, I would have reviewed it, but they didn't, so I had to buy one my fucking self. And I'm much happier getting a larger M2 drive that's like the Samsung 960 Pro or Evo or whatever. Get like a half a terabyte one of them, because yeah, those Optane drives are faster, full stop. They are twice as fast as the next best SSD. But it's just loading times. And when you're talking about the next best SSD, you're talking about loading times, when you get long loading times of like 5 to 10 seconds, and it just halves them. So these, there are other advantages to the Optane drive, admittedly. Like, it's got a great lifespan. It's going to have like a 10-year lifespan probably, and stuff like that. It's got 5 years warranty as standard. They're amazing drives. It's just, it's not so much diminishing returns. It's just, well, it's diminishing returns for your money. Definitely, they're too expensive. They're just too expensive at the moment. And I feel that for Star Citizen, a game that's going to have one loading screen, yeah, it's going to be streaming a load of data. Yeah, if it can do that from the hard drive, it's going to tax the system less. There's a lot more detail you potentially can load in. But I don't see that you're going to get any advantages over a really fast NVMe drive anyway, like an M2 drive, just an SSD from there. Yeah, I don't understand them. Yeah. It's because it's first gen technology of the Optane at that scale. I think that we're going to get second gen by the time Star Citizen releases. So I would, unless you've got a fuck ton of money and to burn, I would wait until then. Obviously, the other thing they talked about was the Saber Raven. Now, Sean Dracy didn't seem to know much about the actual normal Saber, but he knew a lot about the Saber Raven, and it's an infiltrator. It's a solid dogfighter. It's going to be the fastest medium fighter there is. So it is faster than the Saber, and it's going to be able to lock down other ships with its EMP bursts. So that sounds pretty powerful, but I suspect you have to get in close, and I suspect that the Saber Raven is relatively fragile as a ship, so it needs to use its stealth and infiltration abilities. It's got 2 size 3 weapons, so it's not undefended or anything. It's just not going to have as much DPS as the Saber as a dogfighter will have, and it's not really a dogfighter, the Raven. It is an infiltrator. It's got, or like a skirmisher with those cool little disable abilities. So, yeah, I like the idea of the ship. I don't like the idea it's exclusive, and it is exclusive to buying an Optane drive. You may be able to buy one off players in-game once the game goes live, but buying off the grey market is not advised, purely because that if someone returns the Optane drive for a refund, those Raven codes will be deleted from your account. So just bear that in mind. I'm just drink some more coffee 1 second. Suspect to get a full solar system in 2018 at some point. So in 3.0 we're basically getting a quarter of the Stanton system, and then in 3.1, 3.2, probably up to 3.3, they'll be filling it out with content. So suspect to get the whole Stanton system in 3.3. We will know more because they're updating the schedule reports on the website with 2 things: Squadron 42 stuff in the December live stream, so in the holiday live stream we get a load of Squadron 42 stuff on there, and when 3.0 goes live they're going to put the expanded production schedule of beyond 3.0, I think possibly up to beta or possibly even release, and there's going to be a lot of updates there. Now that stuff will change around and get moved around a lot, so don't hold it as gospel, but it's their internal release dates and schedules and stuff. Destroy as many Ravens as possible. Let's go wait for 2 months and then destroy them in the hopes that people haven't insured them. Yeah. What have we got? So what else do I want to talk about today? So yeah, Evacardi have been stress testing 60 plus players in a server, real players in a server, as well as apparently loads of NPCs and stuff. They've been doing tests with that as well. And the actual performance in the servers has been 30 frames or better. This is massively good news, because I think a lot of us were like, oh, we're going to have shit performance in 3.0. Oh, it's only going to be 24 players. Well, it might be only 24 players, we don't know. But it's going to be significantly better performance than we had in 2.6.3. And it might be a load more players. It might be 48, it might be 60, it might be more. It might be 128 by the time they actually get it to us. Now, this is partly due to bind culling also possibly being in 3.0. In Bug Smashers, Mark Abent was doing a very... it was fixing a bug where ships were updating at long ranges. And basically what he was putting in the game, or what he was doing, was putting in the first steps towards bind culling, or fixing the very early stages of bind culling. So basically this is going to be data shared at certain ranges. So the client and server don't need to constantly update data to all clients at all times. They only need to update changes in movement, and they only need to update stuff that is relevant for that particular client. and some stuff on the server can go into hibernation until players go towards it and that sort of stuff. So blind culling is going to be a significant overhaul to the networking stuff, and 3.0 seems to have a lot of that networking stuff in now that I wasn't expecting to have. BoredGamer rules have $15. Thanks, David. I fucking love your face. Or your... Well, I was going to say your little D, because that's the symbol for your name. But that sounds like I was talking about your penis, which I wasn't. But I am now. So yeah, some great changes to 3.0 with blind culling and stuff. All of the ships have changed as well in the way they fly, and loads of the stats, and item system 2.0 basically means that all ships have changed. The Gladius is pretty OP now on paper, but once you get your hands on it in Alpha 3.0, you'll notice that all the ships fly differently. So kind of wait but before you go, whoa, all these things are changing. The big changes that have only recently been discussed, though, are the SCM speeds, so the combat speed, your normal movement speed in your ships, have now a massively great range, much larger range than before. It's been scaled up, basically. There's also Afterburner that we already had, but second stage Afterburner now, which is Super Cruise, which is when you're going in a straight line, and you've got your full Afterburner on. You will then go into second stage Afterburner, which is a lot faster. Quantum travel has changed significantly. You can do short jumps and long jumps in quantum travel now. But basically, your quantum drive kind of spools up and accelerates. So based on your distance you're going, if you're going a short jump, you're not going to get to your full speed for your quantum travel. So it's going to take relatively longer per meter than if you went a longer distance where your actual quantum drive gets to full speed and gets there, and it produces these cool, much better, cooler effects now. But different ships might have different acceleration rates for their drives, and different drives might have different acceleration rates and speeds and that sort of stuff as well. So that's quite exciting, quite cool. We are going to get quantum disruption at some point as well. Not for 3.0, I don't think, although it sounds like pirates and NPCs might turn up while you're quantum travelling, or at the end of your quantum travel. Face scans as well, that's what I wanted to talk about. Let's bring those bad boys up. So, Maya and Super Mac Brothers and people had their faces scanned when they were at CitizenCon. Maya looks creepy, man. As did Miz, apparently. I thought that was cool. Cool little thing. See the face scans? Oh. Don't want to see that message? That's about private land. Dun dun dun. So I'm going away... Is it next week? Not this Monday coming, but the week afterwards. Going way up to Nottingham, to a Centre Parks with DC's in Zen. Some of the other guys. We're going to be playing games at private LAN, so we're literally networking on our PCs and renting out this chalet apartment-y thing, and I'll be doing lots of filming and streaming from there as well. It's partly to get them into... Well, the reason I'm streaming stuff is partly to get them more involved in my channel, because they will be people I will be working with a lot, and people I play games with regularly, doing podcasts with and stuff like that, and eventually playing lots of Star Citizen with, is the plan. I don't think it's possible to torture prisoners, but we don't know yet. I think it's very unlikely. What else we got? Anything else that I wanted to talk about before I start taking questions? I've got the start of a cold, I think, which is a bit lame. Yeah, the blind culling stuff was pretty exciting, to be honest. Yeah, and that was it I wanted to talk about before we can start taking questions and generally just talking about random chos. So, if anyone's got any questions, brackets question, and ask a question. If there's anyone that have been asked it. I'm new to Star Citizen, just jumped on the wagon. What day is the day of the schedule report gets updated? Today, Friday. Every Friday. Do you think the 900p Octane drive is considerably faster than an M2? Yes. It's at least twice as fast in real terms of it will halve your loading times, basically. At least, if you are on a 960 Pro. At least. It's and if you have your operating system on it, you notice that your desktop loading times are amazing, and the operating system just feels a lot more snappier. That's the only way I can describe it. There is a worry with that, in my opinion, that if you had your Optane drive as your operating system and then used someone else's computer, everything would feel sluggish as fuck. So. Do you think the first solar system and its gameplay is the base for making many more solar systems slash the whole game? Yeah, definitely. So CIG and Factory 42 have been spending a lot of time on making tools, and it's getting these tools, these procedural systems, all of that set up. The Stanton system represents a good vertical slice, effectively, of what most of the other systems will be like. It has a load of different biomes, a load of different tech, a load of stuff that they need to get done, and then they can fill out the other systems pretty quickly. The things that do take them a lot of time are hero assets, so the statue at Levski, Terra Tower, some of the very unique buildings that will be in the procedural cities and stuff. They have to really artistically sculpt them. They can't procedure generate those things that have a lot of flavour, because they are very unique. So they can fill out the verse pretty quickly, and then they need to spend a little bit extra time doing those very high detailed hero assets. But you'll start to see a lot of stuff coming online in 2018. Like, lots. Any other questions up here? I've seen many games that begin in early access and die before the release. What is your opinion on how this won't happen? Why do you stop it from happening to Star Citizen? When it hasn't happened to Star Citizen, that's the point, isn't it? So, it's been in its test stage for ages. Now, the thing I find with early access games is that there will be limited content, and you'll play it, and you'll burn yourself out on it, and then you'll come back to it later, and it will never be kind of the same. Star Citizen is different as a project, so all we've seen really to date is tech demos and tests and showcases of their different technology, and yeah, we've given our feedback on flight balance and stuff, and that's been important for the game's development, but Star Citizen always promises more, and always has the get involved to help develop and push the game in that direction. If you're sitting down and playing the game as an early access game, yeah, you might get bored of it and go, meh, I've done 80 hours in the game, I'm done for a while until they get more. But if you're a Star Citizen fan with a project, you're either going to wait until the full game before you play it as a game, or you're really involved with the community, messing around, you're kind of you don't mind grinding, you don't mind keep on testing stuff, you really want to give your feedback on all these different mechanics and that sort of stuff. So it's a little bit different from an early access game. I think when we're closer towards beta, I think we'll be early access. They might say that 3.0 is early access, but fuck that, it's still going to be beta. There's going to be loads of mechanics and stuff that aren't there. But yeah, and the way it won't die is because Star Citizen promises more. There's always going to be, until release, until beta probably actually, so it's going to be more mechanics, more stuff, and people understand that when going in, or at least it's available knowledge to them going, well, this game is not ready yet. It's going to be a couple of years at least. Do you think the Empire will eventually be overrun by an org and new political system put in place? I doubt it, because there's going to be 9 NPCs to every one player. CIG are very much in control of the political and story game and the economy as much as they want to be. Yeah, there's definitely going to be player influence, there's definitely going to be player pressure and pushing and cool stuff that players may get involved with, and may even, up to the scale of what you said, they could potentially do that. I just think it's unlikely, or if it is going to happen, then it will still be very kind of, not imprisoned, that's not the right word, guided. What are your thoughts on 64-player servers? I want more than that. Great that they can get them in 3.0. What they need to start doing as soon as 3.0 is out is ramping up the player numbers, because server stuff is very important. Obviously, the new mechanics are important, but getting the servers to a state when they can then start working on server meshing to try and get every player effectively in the same server, that's the important thing. So they need to get as many players as they can in per instance in the short term, so that they're as efficient as possible per core on each server system. Do you think there's still a custom Star Citizen joystick in the works? We won't see anything more on that until Squadron 42 is out, and Alpha 3.0 is out. Sandy said about that ages ago. Don't know if that's changed, but I do expect to see a custom Star Citizen joystick at some point. I'm glad that we didn't get one being built for us now, though, because the flight model keeps on changing. The buttons keep on changing. I don't want a custom joystick or controller made for me until they are 100% nailed down on how the flight model is going to work and what buttons we're going to need. Because my joystick might require an extra button, or thumbstick, or some extra functionality, or less functionality, or whatever. I want it to be built when they know exactly what's going on. It's just ergonomics with that. Do you think the purchase of ships will have an impact on the Org v Org gameplay when it comes to holding territory in the PU? Yes, both in-game and externally, I suppose. People are still going to need to get good at flying those ships. Manpower will probably be a bigger factor. So, Org v Org, yeah, they might have loads of ships, but it's to do with manpower and that sort of stuff as well. Space bid confirmed. Right, let's go back to the bottom. That M2 stick does not come with a drive also. The Optane SSD 9s do, though. They all come with the same Raven. At least for the short term, it's until they're out of stock. I'm not sure how many stock. I'm not sure how much stock they've got. Quantum travel now has this like kind of curvy thing going on. It's quantum travel times at long distances will take a long time. So in the demo that we can see here, from Hurston to ArcCorp's about 8 minutes, and that's sort of the travel time they want. That's in the same system, and they're not jumping away to a different system. That's in the same system. So they want those jump times to be long and meaningful. Yeah. 42 is the meaning of life, and also my beautiful upside down head. Any dates? Well, I'm not a fan of dates. I'm more of a raisins man. No, we've got no dates. The November live stream should be between the 17th and the 24th, somewhere around there probably, which is when they do the big sale and show some cool stuff on stream. Then there's going to be the holiday live stream towards just before Christmas. That's when I expect they're going to try and get 3.0 to a early PTU. So more people, if not everyone, being able to play it. But also the schedule reports and stuff will be updated, most likely. At least for Squadron 42. We get to see Squadron 42 stuff. Probably the vertical slice. The entire holiday live stream is apparently, well, maybe not the entire, but that's the focus of the holiday live stream. Squadron 42, Episode 1. Do you think the Banu Defender will be able to dock onto the Banu Merchantman? Oh, I don't know. I mean, the hold on the Banu Merchantman is massive, so it might be able to fly in there and land. That's a possibility. I don't think the Banu Merchantman will get a snub. I do think the Banu Merchantman will be able to land, though, with a lot of landing pads and planets. It was supposed to be the largest, originally, it was supposed to be the largest ship that could land planet side, but obviously that's changed now. Will all the new large ships grow to massive sizes like the Merchantman did, and the 890 Jump and the 600? So, ships will change in size as necessary, based on their intention and based on exactly what they want them to do, and just as they develop them further. So, you can see that. I mean, not all the ships are massive. I mean, some are much more massive than others. Some have definitely grown. But don't expect every ship to be like super huge. Just some of the like large ones, like the Javelins grew, and obviously the Idris grew from a Corvette to a frigate, and then they replaced it with the Polaris as the Corvette. So stuff changes. Oh, pardon me. I think they needed to make that 600i a bit bigger. I think it needs to be able to do. I think it needs to be better than a Constellation in most ways, and be very good at multi-role and be luxury because of how expensive it was. It doesn't make any sense to have a ship that's exactly the same as the Constellation, does it? Constellation should be more practical, should be more focused, as the 600 series should be a step up from that, really. in my opinion. So I'm glad they made it bigger. Yes, Tom's Hardware does have some good rate up and benchmarks on the Octane. You want to have your operating system on your Octane drive if you can. No, so feature creeping is an interesting term with Star Citizen. So the last of the great feature creep was procedural planets and cities, basically, or procedural planets, I suppose, because procedural cities were part of that. Everything else is. You could see a lot of the stuff they're putting into 3.0 as feature creep because effectively they're trying to get it in from later patches. They're pushing it into 3.0 if possible, and stuff that they can't do in time, or that will hold up 3.0 a lot longer or whatever. They will push to 3.1 and 3.2 and stuff. So yeah, there's definitely delays with 3.0. There's definitely supporting modules and assets and items that they're adding that they don't necessarily need to add at this stage, but for some reason CIG are treating this as their most major release ever, so they're polishing the fuck out of it. I suppose it's because the gaming community are watching them and looking at them, and 3.0 has to be quite a solid release. Otherwise, people will go, hang on, it's going to be ages, we've got nothing to play for another 2 years. You spent ages doing 3.0, why didn't you just release it in a rougher state if it was going to be shit anyway? So, 3.0 needs to be good. And it's looking like it might be, and they've spent a fucking load of time on it. You've got to remember also that they're working on 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and beyond. Squadron 42, Episode 1, and beyond. A lot of the ships that you don't know about, they're working on as well. There's lots going on behind the scenes that's not just 3.0 related. And the fact that they're trying to put in bind culling and getting 60-player servers and stuff can't be overlooked. That's fucking great. Like, that's something I didn't think it was going to be in there yet. A lot of the polish they're doing, a lot of the CPU and GPU optimization that they're doing, that's great as well, because it's great that they're getting it at this stage. It is odd that they're treating it like a polished product, though, but they haven't axed the idea of manned turrets, no. The turrets are significantly better in 3.0 and are going to keep on getting better and better. There's going to be NPCs that can man turrets as well. You're about to slave manned turrets so they can fire forward for the pilot. And you're going to be able to put AI modules and blades in so that they can go, this AI module with this blade will target incoming enemy missiles. So like a point defense system. Or this will auto-fire at anything that's not a friendly. Or this will fire at specifically large ships or specifically small ships or whatever. The Carrack, I think, has a coffee machine. If you want to know, yeah, I think it does. So they're very likely to, at the same time as the joystick, like they did with the Mad Cats or whatever, or Cytec, they're likely to do a mouse and keyboard at some point. At the moment, I recommend the Logitech G... Is it 502? The Prometheus 502. That's a very, very good mouse, and very cheap for what it is. I think it's like $50, 50 quid. It's an amazing mouse. And then keyboards down to personal preference. I'm waiting for my Wu-Tang, whatever the Wu-Tang keyboard, which is the analogy one, so that it can effectively be used as a throttle, as analog movement on your keys, which is fucking great! So, with racing, it's been suggested that with the rendered texture tech and the secondary viewport tech, that you'll effectively be able to film other people racing and have that live streaming to someone else's, like a TV or someone's Mobigas app or something in game. It sounds like there's going to be open world and live racing. There's supposed to be race courses in 3.0 on planets. I'm not sure how it's going to be enforced and how it's going to work exactly, but yeah, there should be live open world racing that you will be able to spectate. Do you think they will develop base outpost camouflage? I think that they're moving away from cloaking tech, and definitely be stuff that helps things be harder to detect. So that will help with stealth. Placing that outpost in a certain area so the environment helps protect you. That's going to be a big thing. Placing it so that you're like upgrading your power generator so it's got better components that are more stealthy, that sort of stuff, building certain buildings in certain places. Yeah, you're going to be able to basically hide your outpost, but they're still going to be detectable in some places and somehow, but you can obviously take some prevention methods there. It's going to be hard to find them anyway because it's planets and moons are big. I think ground vehicles, some ground vehicles are going to be significantly better at detecting things on the ground than ships would be. The anniversary sale is somewhere in November. I think it's between the 17th and the 24th of November. Yes, we talked about network bind, unbind, and network culling being in 3.0. Mark Advent did some stuff with it, did some very early things with it, main bug smashes. But if they can get bind culling in fully in 3.0, we will see fuck tons of players in servers and significant improvements. And that's the joy of 3.0 now. They are polishing it like a proper released product, although it's not. It's definitely an alpha. But I think it's cool. I'm very tired at the moment, so I'm a bit rambly, so apologies for that. I don't know when they're going to start releasing the modules properly, like the Retaliator modules and the modules for the Caterpillar and stuff. They're really important, obviously. We haven't had anything about them for a while. I'm expecting them for 3.1, or possibly like 3.2, where they go, this is the patch where we release loads of modules for ships and make the modules switchable. Because Item System 2.0 means all those hard points and stuff are there, means the ships are ready and built for that. Potentially as well, I think we might see, definitely not confirmed, and definitely a hope, more than anything else, we might see the Mustang rework for the Alpha at the very least, going into 3.0. That's going to be based on when 3.0 is done. It's just because they've talked about the Mustang Alpha so much recently, it makes me think that, but that is definitely something I pulled out of my ass, so it's more of a hope. What do you think the odds of a ship that's smaller than the Caterpillar coming into the game? What do you mean? Yes? Oh, do you mean like with the same role? I mean, you could just put ships in like the Hull series and stuff, and just give them different modules and stuff. Possibly some other ships that are similar to Caterpillar that you can modularly edit. But I think possibly not as well. No, I think we'd definitely see modules for all the other ships to do lots of different things. Lots more utility mounts, lots more modules. We'll see small salvage ships, small mining ships. The intention that CIG would like to do is a small, medium, and large ship of every mechanic type, at least, where possible. The mechanics of the Caterpillar are a bit different because they are modular themselves, allowing it to have lots of different roles and things. Like it might be able to have an engineering bay, it might be able to have many stations, armories, and that sort of stuff. So I don't know. What kind of pets do you reckon about to get? Well, in the short term, it would probably be like catchable pets and things that will live in terrariums and that sort of stuff. So I'm thinking like fish we've got, but also lizards and snakes and things like that, plant life and weird stuff like that. I'm not sure what we're going to get in terms of cats and things that will move around with you, or maybe get stuff that will sit in your soldier on your shoulder. Blah. See, I'm tired and I couldn't word. My brain couldn't work out how to word then. Oh, I can't even say it again. Oh, just rub my bald head. Fuck my life, man. But I'm not sure if we'll get anything that's not just aesthetic for pets. Squadron 42 news. We are going to find out more about Squadron 42. Holiday livestream, December. That's when lots of Squadron 42 stuff will be shown to us, and we'll find out stuff. So, 3.0, a lot of the tech is obviously going to be used in Squadron 42, because the engine, but a lot of the stuff with 3.0 is networking stuff and multiplayer stuff, something that Squadron 42 doesn't necessarily need in the same way. But yeah, lots of the level polish and assets and engine polish, yeah, almost certainly going to be used for Squadron 42. When playing with a crew of real people, what happens to players who don't own the ship when they log off in the middle of nowhere? The idea is that everyone will need to sleep in a bed for that ship to log off safely, and that ship will probably despawn, and the crew will despawn if everyone's sleeping in a bed. When one of those crew logs back in, this isn't the full game, the ship will respawn and spawn them in, and spawn all their teammates in their bed lying down sleeping. you have to really trust your crewmates. Thank you very much, Ops Chief. I fucking love your shit. Thanks. I appreciate the cheery donation. But in the short term in 3.0, not entirely sure what's going to happen with the live builds with people logging in and out. Ships are persistent in 3.0, so where you log out, when you log back in, you'll be there and your ship will be there. Your ship's supposed to log out with you. I'm not sure if that holds true to what I said about other players being on your ship and not logging out. That said, ownership in the game is now seen as legal and physical ownership. So you can steal ships and you will keep them when you've stolen them. People can still claim their ship back, but it won't despawn the other ship. So. Yeah, I think we'll see some cool xenomorphy type encounters on planets and ships and derelicts and stuff. CIG have taken influences from every sci-fi thing ever, which is cool. And obviously you see the Dune worms, but we'll definitely see alien-esque exomorphy things. Yeah. Do you think the Kurthak will essentially be the Kilrathi in Wing Commander, aka large lion people? I don't think so. I think like. I don't know. Meow! I don't think. Maybe they will be. I thought the Kurthak would be more. They sound more Cthulhu-like. They sound more tentacly octopus people to me. Or crab people. Crab people. Has there been serious discussion of supplies being a requirement on ships for long journeys like exploration? Sort of! I mean, you're going to need, like, quantum fuel. That's probably going to be the major thing. We don't really know in the ways of food and water and how life support exactly works either. So we don't really 100% know long-distance travel stuff. But I suspect in most cases the amount of quantum fuel you have will be your major restriction. Any news on how to manage NPC multi-crew members? So they don't want it to be entirely sim-citizened or anything like that. They don't want it to be uber micro from a management point of view. So we don't really 100% know how NPCs are going to work when we hire them. We know we'll be able to hire full crews, skeleton crews, and there will be a limit to the NPCs that you can hire. We don't know what that limit is either yet. I don't think CIG do. They said it will probably be to do with either balance or performance. Like if they can get you to have infinite NPCs, they may consider it. But obviously they want it to be balanced. They don't want you to sit in the pub all day like Mars at Cart and do nothing. They do want it to be hands-on. That's why they don't have AI in the game as a mechanic, as it were. Like they don't have like super AI robot drones and all loads of AI ships. It's NPCs. It's supposed to be people flying those ships. AI in game, in lore, has always failed every time they've tried to make it. And yeah, there's going to be AI modules, but they're quite simple. It's like derpy AI is good. That works. Question. Would you like to see a planet like the Dagobah system, aka Yoda's planet? Oh, I think we'll see shit like that. We'll see swamp planets and things like that. Without breaking NDA, I'll break NDA if I want to. On your studio tours, did you ever see something that was genuinely surprising in either how far it progressed or advanced it was? Yeah, I saw procedural cities at my office tour a while ago. I was like, fuck. I saw some other cool stuff, which I can't talk about yet. Originally, when I saw the Reclaimer, which they haven't shown all the Reclaimer stuff yet, which is weird. The Reclaimer was the most exciting thing I'd seen. And then my second office tour was the procedural cities and a load of other cool shit. So they are working on a lot of stuff beyond 3.0. Cool. So got some cool concept ships coming up. Got some cool concept vehicles. Spider-Man is still a thing. What else? What else can I say? I don't know if I can say anything else. Lots of they keep on trying to improve. This is the thing I found. They keep on trying to improve the look of space. So every time I go on office tour, and hopefully I'll be able to go in like March or February, whenever the next one is in the UK, because the UK studio is probably the best studio to be able to visit because you get a slice of everything that's happening from the game there. as well as having like Luke Presley there, who's the head of the PU Live and stuff like that. So you get to ask some really fucking good questions. Derek Senior's there as well, who's a coding guy, senior coding dude, networking dude. And yeah, sorry, I went off on a tangent there, but yeah, there's some fucking cool stuff. And space is always going to look better and better and better. So I think the intention is literally to have everything either visitable or that you can see in space around you, or genuinely, meaningfully supposed to be there. So you'll see a system to your left. That's because if you quantum travelled there, it's there, or if you jump pointed there, it's there, and it's like, or if you see like some asteroids in the distance, or like some weird, you're actually about to travel to them, and the idea is to get space as tangible but as pretty as possible, and you'll start to see a lot more of that in 3.0. For those of us that bought an Optane drive and received a second game package, do you know whether the multi-character slot mechanic will be still implemented? Yeah, it's supposed to be. Obviously, hangars, you're about to place load your hangars in different places, not everywhere in the verse, but in certain starting locations, and I believe you still get character slots for game packages. The annoying thing is that I find is that I've got multiple Squadron 42 packages on one of my accounts, which is like, oh, can I split those on into different accounts? Or how will bases work on servers? If you build on one server, is it on every server? So the idea eventually is to have server meshing, so everyone's on the same server anyway. And if they don't get server meshing working in the way that you want for release, they would go with a different route. But I suspect all servers would be linked by the God AI, and that people would still be able to find your bases, whatever server they were on. It'd be like soft servers, but it would all still be connected. But expect them to get the network meshing stuff done, so everyone will be on the same server. So they'll be on all servers, effectively. If you drop 500 units of biowaste whilst being attacked, do you think that will confuse the pirates into allowing you to escape? Yes. And give you some extra speed. And based on what you've been eating, it might be explodey. Oh, soldier shoulder. My brain literally just exploded, man. I couldn't words. I can do videos on the ships and the new stats. Yes, I was waiting for the stats to settle in case there was mistakes and stuff. I started looking at the starter packages a few days ago, but I want to go through all of the flyable ships in game first, and then groups of ships. So we'll look at dogfighters, we'll look at cargo haulers, we'll look at science ships, we'll look at the medium-sized ships like the Freelancer and the Cutlass and all that sort of jazz, and Constellation, and compare them all together. Yeah, there will be a major stream for the November anniversary. That's the plan, I believe. What's your take on the... what is your take on contention that ship reworks like the Mustang Agasify the ships in terms of design aesthetics? I don't really understand the question, sorry. Do you think that small ships like the M50 should be limited to energy weapons, no room for ammo? I think that ammo will be restrictive if you don't have room for it. I'm not sure if that ammo is going to be held on the weapons in the same way. They might be, but energy weapons obviously don't require ammo, which is great. You're going to be limited for when you have ballistic weapons by room for ammo and lack of storage in your cargo hold to actually replenish it and stuff like that. So I think there's restrictions enough on ammo. I mean, wait till 3.0 and see how dogfighting works in that. When are explorable ships and able to search for resources on planets? Not yet. Not on 3.0. When they start to implement the resource maps and exploration mechanics. But I don't know when that's going to be. Actually, potentially 3.1, because mining is going to be in 3.1. So, potentially 3.1. I'm going to upgrade the Raw MR to an Avenger for a all-rounder fighter and cargo. Should I wait until 3.0 comes out to see the changes to all the ships? Yeah, why not? Why not wait? I'm really recommending the Mustang Alpha as well at the moment. Mustang Alpha comes with standard, at the moment, a store all cargo box with 6 SEO of cargo, and yeah, it just doesn't really have the missile mounts that the Aurora does, and that's pretty much it. And I really like the Mustang Alpha now, and it's getting a nice little sexy rework. But yeah, wait till 3.0, see how the ships handle. I really recommend the Avenger Titan as well. I think the Titan's a fucking amazing ship. There will not be triple launches as far as I'm aware. What's the status quo with SCM speeds? Chris Roberts seemed too keen on World War II dogfighting. So they are changing them all the time, trying to get them to where they want. SCM speeds have now, from 3.0 onwards, or from 3.0, will be a larger range. So you'll have bigger scales, more speed. So flight will effectively be a bit more tricky, with a high kind of skill cap, in my opinion. You have to see what they're like for 3.0, because we don't know exactly how they're going to tweak them. We don't know what's going to go into a live build. But they are faster than they used to be, and they're more scalable and changed across all ships. Speaking of quantum fuel, when will the refueling aspect of the game come online so that I can use my Starfarer for refueling other ships? Potentially 3.1, probably 3.2. They're actually probably 3.1. There's going to be service beacons and like distress signals saying please refuel me, coming in the game pretty soon. So and the refueling mechanic is pretty simple. I think it's pretty simple anyway. Aside from the Matrix update, is there any in-depth information about utility item usage or stats, exactly how those mechanics will work? No, so there's not much information on exactly what those, or any of the utility items will do or work, or what can be put in particular amounts. I'm expecting that sort of stuff when we see modules talked about more, so like Caliper modules and the Retaliator modules and stuff like that come into the game, but I don't have dates or anything like that on that. Do you think that Star Citizen will lose popularity when most ships are done, but many systems remain to be done? No. I mean, I think they'll release at least 8 concept ships a year until the game's released, and then they might still build ships after that. I'm just not sure how they'll do concept sales and concept ships. They might just do it fully in game. Maybe you pre-purchase them with a fuck ton of UBC or something. I think a lot of Star Citizen hype is based on the dream of Star Citizen, not necessarily just ship releases. Ship releases are definitely the way they make money, though. Will my spare game packages converted to an AI die permanently? I'm not sure how that shit's going to work. I don't think so, though. I don't think anything game package-wise will die permanently. There's soft permadeath in the game. When something dies, you'll recreate. You send the stuff to the next of kin. You don't need a new account or anything for that. You just have to recreate a character. I believe that's even if you had NPCs on your account, or other accounts that you could somehow convert to NPCs, which is a possibility. They said that, but they haven't confirmed it yet. Then they wouldn't die if they died. Well, they'd die. But you could recreate another NPC. What is the difference between touring and exploration? So, touring and luxury are now the same thing. Exploration is different, I believe. So touring is literally... Actually, I've got something for this. Bear with me. So I'm a little bit slower today than I would be normally. My brain's not working. What am I searching for here, guys? I'm searching for the ship matrix. There we go. So we're going here, and we're searching for Chris and Rolls. And... Oh. Pathfinder... Touring. So touring is the luxury version of exploration. And doesn't want to be shown on my computer, apparently. Touring role is for ships that at their core are explorers, but offer a more luxurious avenue of exploration, traditionally in safer systems, compared to other explorers. From the dedicated explorer ships with the upmarket feeling interiors, to larger ships more akin to sightseeing vehicles, they all fall under this role. So, people carriers, pretty exploration, that sort of stuff. That's what touring's supposed to be. We'll see how that evolves, though, as we get closer to a release. Any reasons to keep my Cutlass Pirate Pack? Which does not say anything about insurance. Check to make sure you're getting good value out of it by melting it, but if you can get LTI, why not? Melt it. What is to become of the Mustang Omega? I'm assuming that it will get the rework as well. Because I was thinking that the other day, I was like, Mustang Omega needs to be reworked as well, but it's effectively, the Mustang Omega is it's a Mustang Gamma reskinned, so I doubt it's much work. Hey BoredGamer, what happens to player characters when he logs out of the game? They log out, even in 3.0, when you log back in, you will log back in where you were. You despawn, basically, when you log out. And that will be the same with your ships. If you log out with your ship, as long as you're not combat logging or anything, your ship will log out with you as well. I'm not exactly 100% sure how that's going to work, if someone's stealing your ship at the time, all that sort of stuff. I know that physical ownership is a thing as well, so someone else is in your ship shouldn't despawn, as far as I'm aware. I'm in Southampton. In south of the Englands. Would we be able to get close to stars? And if so, I hope they're dangerous. I don't know. But you probably have to. And yeah, they probably will be dangerous. There was a hidden site mentioned on one of the ATVs in the past that's going to be visible from space. Do you think that that's still going to be in 3.0? Oh, you're talking about... Yeah, so there's a big derelict hidden in 3.0. Yes, you'll be able to set permissions on individual functions, consoles, turrets, doors, and that sort of stuff in the future, and flight controls and all that sort of thing. Just not in 3.0. In 3.0, you'll be able to lock your outer doors of your ship, but your doors will also be able to be blown up so that people can breach and get in. Will it be possible to track a ship in quantum? For instance, if I'm a stealth ship following a pirate vessel to its home, can I track its destination when it enters quantum? I believe that the intention is to be able to track ships and follow quantum trails and detect that sort of stuff, but we don't know the mechanics for it yet. How can a Pioneer fit through a small jump hole if you found a great base location? Can you bypass it somehow? No. If the jump point is too small for you to get through, you'd have to go another way. Ship naming should be a thing. We saw it first for the 600i series. I think you're about to do it for lots of ships in the future. So I can't talk about specifics of 3.0 the card build in regards to audio and visual feedback cues. They obviously have been developing the music system further to be a lot cooler, and audio and sounds have changed or add additions to them. Thrust and speed in Star Citizen is largely managed with maximums, but space is frictionless, or acceleration should be continuous with thrust. Star Citizen is balanced for gameplay, with a little bit of realism and physics. It's basically its own physics model, though, so they're always going to balance with gameplay over realism and fun. But they'll certainly try and do stuff realistic where sensible. Do you know anything about where they're thinking of discovering jump points? No, so we know there are going to be discoverable jump points, and there's going to be ones that are hidden and that sort of stuff. And we just don't know much more than that. No, the Zen isn't supposed to be coming in 3.0. After 3.0 is released and Squadron 42 Episode 1 is out, then they'll look at the next Great Star Marine, which will be some sort of contest. Though they're making Titan armor separately now, it's supposed to be to make Titan armor, but we'll see it's something else. And the Star Citizen branded HOTAS, they will look at that sort of thing. They are constantly updating the support for HOTAS and other cool little peripherals and things. So I'm not sure the specifics of the X45 and if it will work with 3.0, but I would expect it to. If sneaking around a ship killing people, do you think there will be a mic? Their mic will silence so they can die and they can't alert other players to your presence. No, so potentially where you're respawning, but people might be using Discord and stuff. So just bear that in mind. Probably won't be able to use the in-game ship Moby-Glass player-to-player talk when you're being stabbed to death. There is going to be some simple character customization in 3.0, and then more and more afterwards. I'm not sure when we can expect to see lots of different racial models for American, Chinese, Japanese, and all that sort of stuff, though. What's your opinion of UEC given out with backing? I feel that, oh, fuck's sake. 1,000 to 10,000 is petty change. Yeah, it is. That's not going to be much UEC. Tonight they're going to show how they build bases. Are they? Oh yeah, they are, aren't they? It's the thingamajig tonight, isn't it? It's the happy hour. Fuck yeah. How do you think they will let us build bases on the Pioneer? Well, it's going to have a manufacturing bay in the centre. You have resources you need to build the particular modules in your cargo bays. You go onto the bridge of the ship. There's an architect station. You choose what outposts you want to build, which are 48 by 48 meters by 5 meters tall. And then it will manufacture that particular interior with that 48 by 48 exterior, and then it will store it until you place it with the crane. I think you can store like 2 or 3 modules at any one time, and they all require different resources. But it'll be pretty simple for the base building. No more specific words in the anniversary other than I think it's between the 17th and the 24th. With the Saber Raven being offered with only 2 months insurance, do you think the future concept sales will be offered without LTI? No, I think concept sales specifically will almost always be sold with LTI. Did they ever say anything more about cargo capacity or the Buccaneer? Of the Buccaneer? No, I think the cargo capacity of the Buccaneer is zilch. 0. I don't know if you're about to find your dad in 3.0. Did he go and buy a packet of cigarettes and not come back or something? I don't know. He's playing Star Citizen. We'll be seeing aliens, animals on planets and moons in 3.0. You'll see plants. You will not see, as far as I'm aware, any animals or other aliens yet. How will bounty hunting game mechanics work? We don't 100% know yet. That's the issue. We suspect that it's going to be the subdual or killing of someone and then bringing their body or personage back. And yeah, you should be able to subdue them in that case. There were advocacy tools that went on sale a while ago, and they came free with the concept sale of the Cutlass Blue. I'm using HDR 180 from Sennheiser. It's a very nice wireless headset with very little audio lag. Good day, Bored. Love your work. What are your thoughts on the Origin ships with the moniker of luxury? How useful do you think they're going to be? I think they're going to be great multi-role ships, luxury ships. I think they're going to be very high-grade components. I just think that more focused ships are going to do their stuff better. They're like octane drives. They're going to be very good at certain things, but they're fucking expensive, and you might be able to find something more focused or better. So I would rather, for luxury and touring, have a Carrack over a 600i, because I think the Carrack is just better in every way for exploration in every mechanic. The luxury touring stuff might be able to carry people and do people carrying missions and be cool as like a look at the fucking ship, the ship is beautiful sort of thing. So I'm very much kind of practicality over anything else, personally. What's the best game I've ever played? Half-Life 2 is pretty good. It's pretty up there. I loved To the Moon, which is a RPG Maker-esque game. The storyline in that was just so amazing. They made me cry. What other good games do I like? Obviously, I loved Final Fantasy VII. Let me think on it. Half-Life 2 is pretty up there. Half-Life's pretty up there. Can you recommend the best sources, in your opinion, on learning PvP dogfighting. There's like the Legacy Instructional Series, but I'm not sure if it's going to give you great dogfighting tips. The best thing to do for PvP dogfighting is to get into an org that practice regularly and play with them. That's the best thing to do. If you're really at base level, you want to play a fuck ton of Vandal Swarm, and then move on to Pirate Swarm, and then move on to PvP. You want to get the feel of the ships and the feel of all the weapons, so you understand them backwards, and then you want to do PvP, and then you want to drill and play lots of PvP with teammates, and test lots of stuff out. Given that there are a number of bugs and tasks still be done before PTU release, are they aiming to complete both bugs and tasks before the wider PTU? They're not really feature creep. I mean, there's some supporting modules and stuff. It's stuff that they're not extra features typically. They're like, oh, we kind of need this to work, and we need this here and stuff. It's all stuff they've talked about before. Some of it's coming in earlier than expected, or they didn't realise they needed it and stuff like that. So I'm hoping for a wider PTU for Christmas. Are Rocksteady Games making a Superman game in the next project? I don't know. Considering that the PU should go live in 2019, if I build a rig, I'm expecting beta in 2019. If I build a rig to play 3.0, will it be able to run Star Citizen when it officially launches? Yeah, it should do. The idea is that Star Citizen will get more optimized. Or Star Citizen will, if Star Citizen becomes harder to run, it'll be scalable still. So it'll be more scalable. You're not going to lose performance or anything. So if you build a game to play, if you do build a PC to play 3.0, yeah, that PC is going to be able to run Star Citizen, and Star Citizen will be sexily scalable anyway at release. But I suspect that if you built a system that can run the game at max settings, that you'll probably be able to run max settings when the game releases. When is anti-aliasing being enabled, added in game? They were talking about it at CitizenCon. They've got temporal AA and some other stuff. I think we're starting to see that sort of stuff in 3.0, to be honest. Carrying on my question on base building, I meant in terms of, will we build a base panel by panel, walk by walk, like Conan? Oh, no, so it will be less intensive than Conan. So you'll build module by module. So the Pioneer will drop in literally just those 48 by 48 outpost modules, bam, with an interior. You might be able to also build with the Pioneer sections for a landing pad. But everything else will be external buildings, so little solar collectors, radar dishes, defense turrets and stuff like that. They're not going to be built by the Pioneer. You're going to be able to buy them from a shop and then place them. So I think you'll have to bring them to the planet via a cargo ship or something, I presume. Not really sure how you're going to be able to haul around turrets and things, but possibly a dedicated vehicle for building as well. When 3.0 goes to... Well, actually, we're expecting a Tumbril vehicle, aren't we? And we're expecting a Tumbril concept cell going before the end of the year. So, when 3.0 goes to PTU, do you expect the Evocati numbers to drop drastically? What? No. What do you mean? Expect more of the Evocati to be playing when it goes to PTU. Now, I've hinted at the PSI 5 training company for a game from 1985. Will you check it out? Yeah, whatever. Cool. Link it to me if you want. Message me. Will we be able to change the colour on our ships in 3.0? I do expect us to be able to buy skins and change the skins on our ships more easily. I do expect them to be in there in the game. They were working on skins for ages for all the ships. I think they're in for a lot of them, so we won't be able to paint them. We won't be able to paint our ships in 3.0 unless it's like a big surprise. But do you think having a two-stage afterburner setup makes combat between fighters and large ships like the Gemini more balanced now? It's going to be totally different. You'll need to get your hands on 3.0. The changes in FCM speeds, afterburner, and second stage afterburner aren't necessarily combat-esque features. You'll see when you get into the game. When will they fix the lame pad campers? That's a good point. Eventually, the game will have defense turrets and policing effectively for people that are pad camping at those zones. So it's not going to be an issue for that much longer. I don't think. Do I get to play Star Citizen if I somehow get rich and don't need to do anything else all day? I don't know. Yes? No? Thank you very much for the love. I'm sorry that I'm so tired and a bit like out of it. Apologies. Question: has there anything been mentioned about players being made aware that they're entering claimed land? Oh, I don't know. I suspect so. I suspect that your mobiGlass will tell you when you're in someone else's land. Then, I mean, some people are probably overhyping base building. Base building's a cool mechanic. It's an important mechanic. I feel that some people overhype everything or any particular thing. So, what's the incentives for pirates to not massacre you before they steal your goods? So blowing your ship up, blowing the ship up might damage the cargo. The idea is that if you're a pirate, you want to make the most money as possible for the least effort. So if someone's going to offer you a fuck ton of money to leave them alone, okay, cool, yeah, great, see you later. In terms of theory crafting, oh no. Anything else? Anything else? We do have the that Pioneer as a winnable ship this month. What you're going to do is be subscribed to my YouTube channel and comment on any of my videos. That was donated by Matadors. Oh my fucking
I less than 3 or pretty dome. Never change.
I less than 3 your face. Thank you. Never change. I'll forever bald and beardy. Thank you. Very much appreciated for the donation. But we've got a ship donated by Matadors. The Pioneer, massive base building ship. It's fucking cool. If you're interested in joining an outlaw organisation that's active now and going to be in 3.0, then check them out. They are going to be for-profit pirates, which is a very different style of gameplay than a lot of players that would be seeking PvE or security or lawful good kind of gameplay. This is very sort of neutral evil. Are you supposed to see outposts and their planet surface objects through my radar? I'm not sure if you're supposed to see outposts, but you'll see the landscape and you'll see the weather. Do you think people can defend their bases when you're offline? Yeah, that's the idea. So you'll build defense turrets. You can if you build it in UEE space, you'll have like police and security responses. You can hire more security to come and patrol and look after your base. You can obviously have the defense turrets. You can have NPCs that literally live there and stay there and fight. You can have alerts and stuff. I suspect people will be having like apps on their phones that go, my base is under attack, and stuff like that. So yeah, you'll be able to defend your bases offline because they will be lootable and probably destroyable. Land on poor planets and moons. Do you think we'll ever get the guy who runs? No, I don't think people will be cleaning windscreens. Although you might get role players doing that. Do you feel people are... Oh, we already read that. What's the incentive? No, we already read that. I got a freelancer. Can I scan stuff and then sell the information like money collections and so? Yes, that's going to be one of the features of the we don't know exactly how that's all going to work, but part of the exploration mechanics now is surveying, exploration, land claim stuff. So yeah, you'll be able to find out information about land and sell that information. You'll be able to claim that land or go onto someone else's claimed land that's allowed you to do and survey it to make that land worth more or potentially less, I suppose, by finding out more information about the land. With the recent changes to the Vanguard series, are any of them worth it? I really love the idea of the Vanguard Sentinel. I'm very much into E-War, and I love the idea that it's a big fighter with a huge E-War presence. Something I want to do on my channel and understand electronic warfare stuff. If you could change anything in the game, what would it be and why? The release dates to now. If I'm not interested in base building, will I not be able to enjoy some aspects of the game, like resource gathering? You're able to resource gather. I mean, It's just a different type of gameplay. Some people aren't going to want to do bases at all. You'll be able to do loads of stuff in space. You'll be able to do loads of stuff on the ground that doesn't require you to build a base. The Prospector, for example, can mine on the ground and then fuck off back into space. You don't need a base to do that. Bases are just another way of collections and resource gathering and stuff. Raid bases without building a base, stuff like that. Will the Herald have any offensive hacking weaponry or just data running? You may be able to give it some offensive hacking weaponry, but it's primarily a data runner. Do you think players should have some way of contributing to the development with user-generated content? So there is going to be modding tools for Star Citizen after release and private servers. And I think that's going to be the main way that players will contribute to the game. I suspect some of that stuff will get assimilated into the game. But that's the way they'll enrich content. Seeing as not everyone will have a Pioneer, we'll be able to make claims over procedural updates. You'll be able to buy them off other players. And you'll be able to transfer land and stuff in more zero-sec space, as it were, where there's no security, no UEE presence. You'll be able to say, this space is now mine, definitely. And be able to kick the other people out and steal their stuff and blow up their Medi station and change it for yours. I suspect that's basically how you take over a base. You blow up a couple of the buildings or a couple of the stations, or change them so that they're yours rather than theirs. But in more UEE and secure space, you won't be able to like capture other people's bases so much, because the UEE will enforce the owner. Which is one of the good things about the UEE land claims, is you go, this is mine, people can raid it, people can potentially destroy it, but they can't take it over. If you're found in China, please can you tell me if they have natural disasters? So potentially, we'll definitely have weather, and devastating weather, and environmental hazards and stuff. I'm not sure if we'll see earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis and stuff. Anything with liquids, when they're doing that, like natural disasters, is notoriously hard to do. But you could potentially see some big weather patterns and stuff. You could potentially see some devastating environmental effects. I just don't expect anything like volcanoes. Like erupting and exploding and magma fucking lava. Because it's not magma when it's fucking exposed to air, is it? Now we have base building. Should we ship module? Now we have base building. Should we a ship module add-on with the ability to take photos of bases? So I do think that people that build bases, like the Pioneer people, people that don't have Pioneers will hire someone to build their base for them properly. I think that those people are going to be kingmakers in a lot of regards, because they know where the locations of bases are. I suspect that there will be ways of filming and taking photos in-game. And yeah, people gathering information on people's bases, the locations of them, taking pictures of their defences, working out where the power plants are and stuff, seeing what NPC guards and stuff. They'll be able to sell that information to people. I will clean your toilet for enough UEC, or enough real money. What will drive the mining economy if ships are just replaced by insurance all the time? There's still time involved, so it could be a long time before your ship's replaced. It's only the base hull which is insured typically, or you can pay for more insurance, and you still have to pay to have that your ship expedited and stuff like that. There'll be a lot of stuff driving the economy still. Along with repairs and restock and refuel and stuff like that. I think CIG will sell land claims. Yes. I think they'll be sold in game. I think they'll sell them in game land claims. I don't think they'll sell them on the website or anything. With different climates, potentially corrosive atmospheres, will there be different base types? Yeah, so there's definitely going to be like on a cold planet, you're going to have more power to generate more heating. So potentially with climates that are corrosive and that sort of stuff, you may be able to protect against them, but they'll be, you'll have to do it in some way. Some planets or moons may not be suitable for outposts at all, potentially. Hey Bored, watch all your YouTube content. Caught your stream for the first time. Thanks for all the great work. Thank you. I appreciate it. You've got lots of letters in your name. CVK Prodigy. There you are. I said it. Thank you very much. Thanks for the love. Appreciated. Have you noticed the small ship building, the Pioneer? You notice the small ship building, the Pioneer, in the brochure? No, but it's probably a Crucible. I didn't actually notice. Or it's probably just a bullshit ship, a fluff ship. Are they planning on adding prison planets to sort out extreme riffraff? That's a good idea. Yeah, prison moons and things, maybe. I haven't even thought about that. I suspect there will be stuff like that, actually. Any info on war declaration between orgs in the UEE? I suspect that even if you declare war on each other, it would still be illegal to fight in the UEE space. But Zero Six space will be a bit more freely aggressive, or just non-UEE space, I suppose. Like Stanton's not UEE, is it? Well, it's private. My org and the law we have for the org is supposed to be an old UEE fleet abandoned by the UEE and plan to build an empire. So do you think we can do this in the future? I mean, yeah. Yeah, be able to do stuff like that. You might have to be a bit dynamic with your law in the short term because stuff will change around. You can probably ask CIG to help you with it closer to release as well, saying, look, this is what we got. Is there anything we need to change so that it fits into law more correctly? Is there any information I missed about the Redeemer? No, they will be redoing the Redeemer at some point. Expect a second phase concept, a big rework for it. But nothing soon. How will they handle my want to hire another player with a Pioneer to build a base for me? So there's going to be player contracts and player missions. I suspect they'll be done via that. So you'll say, I want you to come here and build these modules for me and place them. Once you've done that, you get paid. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do player enforced contracts, but they know they're going to have player missions, player contracts. Yes, Evocati is great. I love Evocati. I don't have the time to do it properly, to be honest. It's time consuming to do it properly. Do you think an organisation like Test will be able to claim a moon and secure it from invasion? Potentially, yes, but it would be them claiming it themselves. They'd say, we're claiming this moon. It's not enforceable. Potentially, actually, it is enforceable if it was in UEE space and they all bought all the land claims on that moon and somehow filled it up. Big fan. Love the content, bro. Thank you very much. I love the love. Thank you. Will I be able to request another player with a Pioneer to build a base point? Yes. But will they have a planet like the Pitch Black movie? Probably. Thinking about it. Is the Taurus a good starter? Yeah, it's a good starter ship. I would say it's a good starter ship if you've got another friend to play with, because the ship it's a medium-sized ship, intended not for just one person, really. You can fly it one person. If you're looking for something smaller that's for a starter ship, then the Avenger Titan, something like that. It depends on what exactly you want to do as well. I love the idea of the Taurus, though, because the Taurus is a stripped-down Connie, and I think it's a great ship to start with, so yeah. I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with music and YouTube and real TV screens and stuff in-game. There's the potential that you'll be able to listen to any music you want via jukeboxes in-game, potentially. They talked about it and they said there might be copyright issues, but we're looking into it. And it's likely or possible that the mobiGlas will have the functionality to be able to grab other external websites as well. So I'd love to be able to go into a living area on my ship and put on a YouTube video. That would be fucking cool. Which ship is the best all-round ship in combat and in everyday tasks like picking up some space ice cream? The Avenger Titan I like as a great all-round starting ship. Yeah, the Retaliator is effectively viable as a smuggler ship now. It can have 2 cargo bays in it. You do some cool stuff. When it comes to smuggling, you're going to be able to misdeclare things. You're going to be able to hide stuff. You're going to be able to make stuff look like different things. Lots of different ways of smuggling it. Just avoid everything, that sort of stuff. We'll start to see more and more smuggling stuff after 3.0. I've recently set up a Discord server to counter pirate and non-consequential PvP for explorers, traders, miners, civilians, Star Citizen Minutemen. Would you endorse it if I linked it? Well, that's a pretty big endorsement right there. You can link it if you want. It is. Alright. Would I lose out any part of exploration by upgrading my Aquila to a 600i? So, the 600 doesn't have a snub. The Aquila comes with a snub. And only the Explorer version, I believe, of the 600i comes with a rover. I would wait to upgrade your Aquila. I would keep it for at least 3.0 and see what, because there's no rush to upgrade it, is there? I'm not really into football, Emma, so I don't give a fuck if you're dissing Southampton Football Club. I think they're both shit. How's that? Portsmouth and Southampton football teams are both shit. Seeing as they've removed docking collars, like on the Cutlass, what does that mean for the Caterpillar's command module? So still expect parasite docking and that sort of stuff. Just it was the enforced grabbing of ships with docking collars because it didn't make sense anymore. They wanted to do boarding and stuff via EVA and landing ships in ships. So it's just the docking collars they removed on the Cutlass series, basically. Still expect to have the command modules. Still expect to have the docking of the P50. 2 and P72s to Connie's. Now that we have base building planet side, do we expect to see player built limited size space stations in the future? I am expecting to see a ship that builds space stations now, yes. Because space is bigger than ground. And they've got the modular system in a similar way to outposts for space stations. That's what the the truck stop was that we saw. They're keeping VR in mind as they progress with the game. They haven't given us much on VR. I wish I'd gone to CitizenCon because I would have asked about it. I can see the truck stop there in the left. You're probably about to buy UEC and potentially game packages after launch. I would try and get rid of your store credit before launch if possible. BoredGamer is such a huge asset to the game. You calling me fat? Keep up the good work, man. CIG is super lucky. What? No, but if they do anything fucking wrong, I hold them accountable. Anything I don't like. I don't like the fucking Optane drives. They're too expensive. Actually, I like them, but they're too expensive. Do you know any main learning resources for Machinima for Star Citizen? Not for learning. I don't know how to do shit like that. Go check out Bulkheads and stuff and Vintage Feather. They might be able to help you. Love your content, dude. You're really easy to listen to and very informative. Thank you very much, Excalibur. I'm fucking not easy to listen to today. I'm derpy. You're live. Love you, noob. What else we got? How much do you think the Aquila will increase in price? If it does, not much. I'm not sure if the Aquila will increase in price. I feel that the Cutlass Black will, because it's had such a big rework, so maybe $125 from 100. So, when do you think the anniversary sale will begin? Between the 17th and the 24th, I suspect. How much of the star map is completed? Are they still expanding? That's an interesting question. I believe they have plans for 120 stars that they've mapped out and stuff. And the only system that's getting closer to completion is the Stanton system in the short term. The other ones, the other stars, the other planets and systems will get mapped out and built very quickly after Stanton's done. Can we expect the 300i series of ships to get the rework revealed by the end of spring? Probably earlier than that. I suspect we'll see a lot of them before the end of the year reworked. So I'm hoping anyway. When do you predict the 3.0 will be available to everyone? PT first wave by Christmas. That's my expectation. Yeah, so the Samsung 960 Pros are very good. Quite a bit better, actually. Well, I say quite a bit better. A good bit better than the Evos. But the Optanes are just the best of the best. Like, they're just so expensive, and they're small, and super expensive. Like, blah, 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 blah. Thank you very much, Relevance. One extra. Fucking, I'll have my javelin soon. Thank you. One of the other cool things was that if you get 10 recruits for Star Citizen, which is people that pay $45 or more when they join by your code, or at any point they can spend that money, they don't have to pay for it when they actually join, you'll get a free Gladius. You'll get lots of other stuff as well, but you'll get a free Gladius, which is a $90 ship. And the Gladius is really fucking cool now. It's Noobifier. I was talking about it in this video the other day. See, I plug you, noob. I plug you. Sorry to ask, as I bet you get this a lot, but do we have any news on the Carrack's production? No, other than it's in production. In the future, is possible having your personal organisation logo sprayed on the ship? Don't know. I'm expecting that, though, yes. I'm expecting custom decals. I'm also expecting... I would suggest to CIG that they allow custom logos for orgs, but charge people $5 for them, for custom logos, and for really high detailed skins that they've made. So like have a woman lying on a hornet or whatever, or like a dragon, like a Japanese dragon or something wrapped around a ship, really super high details. Sell them for real money. Sell them for $5. Allow people to do that for $5, and then have everything else done in game. So, if you want some more standard decals, you can just drop them in your ship in game that costs UBC. If you want to paint your ship whatever colour the fuck you want, you can do that in game. I'm saying for more complex stuff, charge for it. It's a good way of making sure that the game makes money, and it'll keep players happy because they want to do that. Done. I'm expecting, yeah. That's why I've been swelling up. Considering the size of the Reclaimer, will it be a viable tool to just hold ships in place with the arm? Probably not if the ship is active. I think stuff with army holding and tractor beams and stuff will only be if the ship is effectively not struggling. I suspect the Reclaimer will be at the anniversary sale. Reclaimer is my favourite ship by far. I think it's fucking amazing. Mate, I'm just saying, if CIG want to make really high quality skins that there's no incentive for them to make otherwise, I'm happy for them charging $5 a piece or something. I don't see an issue with that. I think that's a good idea. They can make really cool stuff that I can't make, as long as I have the ability to paint my ship still without having to spend real money. That's what I want. I want to paint my ship without to spend money. And if there's a choice of having org logos or not having org logos, I'm happy for them to pay for org logos. I do not, however, want CSGO loot crates or bullshit like that. Unless they do them in-game. If they're in-game in like Star Marine and Arena Commander and you use UEC to buy them, fucking great. Monetize your game in-game. $500 javelin skins. I don't know if they like. Yeah, fuck paid DLC. Fuck loot boxes. I want to buy AMD cards because I got FreeSync. Will the RX be enough for 1440p? You'll have to look up a specific review of it. When is 3.8 supposed to come out again? Well, it's in the Eva Kite sounds already. There's no dates on it. I'm expecting a YGPTU by Christmas. Any other questions? Because if there's not... I didn't realise I was going to be so fucking tired in the morning. So I'm going to go in a second, I think. See if anyone else is around streaming. We'll go host twerk in a minute. Fucking great. But yeah, so I was really surprised by them having 60 plus players in servers with 35 plus frame rates in the PU at the moment. We're not sure what that's going to actually mean for the live release of 3.0, if that's going to mean actually translate into really great performance games, which it should. We're not sure really what the player count's going to be in 3.0 anymore. And we knew that it was going to be... basically, we won't know until the actual live release. So it's an interesting one. I'm really fucking glad that they're starting to get more players in. It's really exciting. Yeah, so there's lots of network gains in 3.0 now. If we get bind culling as well, along with the other network upgrades, along with the better server hardware, along with that Amazon Web Services stuff, yeah, potentially we're going to have a significantly better PvP, combat, and general server experience at higher frame rates. New burn down's okay, and the latest burn downs have been a bit better because they give us, when combined with the production report coming out later today, context of what they've been doing in the week and a lot more information. So I do actually quite like it. You notice the Polaris and the Javelin are the only two ships with a capital scanner range. Oh, I didn't actually. I see what you mean. The actual capital scanner component. Bug patches this week showed simple but cool network code improvement. Yeah, so that was sort of like bind culling light. According to the latest info from Sean Tracy and stuff, the frame rate in 3.0 is above 30 with 60 players in the servers, which is good. What's the Discord, and is it always busy? I'm always looking for people both. My Discord, you can find it at BoredGamer. It's not always super busy. Well, it might be. I'm busy, so I only jump in there when I've got free time. Well, I'm in there, but I'm not like online chatting. I'm a monster. As mining is not in 3.0, will the prospector still be able to fly around? Yeah, you'll be able to do stuff. It's just a little bit annoying that we don't have mining yet. Mining in 3.1. There's a good amount of bugs and tasks left for 3.0 to go live. You'll find out more in the production report, schedule report later today. If you can switch the camera from first to third person anytime, use HUD in third person. Does it really matter? I also suspect that they'll probably do it like a little drone floats behind you, so you can see like a camera floating above the player. That's what I'm expecting. No, that's the Eva Carty players. That's 60 players online. Well, exactly. How many ships? That is... They're playing the game. That's all I'll say. I'm not talking about specifics of Eva Carty, but it's sounding exciting. Alright, there's no more questions.
I haven't been on the Evocati test flight.
We're gonna fucking go host Twerkapoos, because I love him. Look at his little face. He can get a head scan anytime he fucking wants, because he's like always clean shaven. I'm not sure if he can grow a beard. I want to see Twerk with a beard one day. This beautiful fucking thing, mate. You can have an upside down head. He's like, his head's the right way round. That's just... I don't understand. Will there be technology progression like 1 year after the full game? Will there be better weapons? There are going to be different variants of ships. So you'll get like the Mark II and 3 Hornets and stuff. They will keep on developing that. So yeah, there's potentially going to be the same with weapons, where weapons will be different, or they'll release more weapons. It's doubtful they're just going to be more powerful things. Star Citizen's not balanced like that, but... the Reclaimer can be in-game before salvages. I doubt you'll see the Reclaimer in 3.0, even though technically the Reclaimer is fully ready. Why didn't you make a vid about the ships tanking fuel on gas giants? All ships can do now. Oh, so, well, most ships can just have fuel intakes that they will generate fuel as they go around. It's the Starfarer is the ship that will be able to refine quantum fuel and put it into other ships, though. Do you think CIG will orchestrate large-scale world events like invasions of natural disasters? Yes, I do expect that we'll see large-scale world events and big story events that happen in the game in the future. Do you think the Earth will be explorable, just like Kirsten and ArcCorp? Potentially, yeah. I'm assuming so. I'm not sure if something's happened to Earth or anything. Can I change my key bindings? Yes. He did have a beard, didn't he, at one point? But it fell off. Same with my hair as well, to be honest. Oh, you did not already say, and sorry, I'm pretty tired. Can you spot the enemy from behind Calvo if you're in third person and he can't see you if he's in first person? So there is obviously the potential of that. That's why I think you need to have a drone flying behind you. So they can see that quite obviously. There shouldn't be a benefit to going to third person. It should be negative stuff. But yeah, potentially you could be able to see around corners in third person. If that's so, then a big floaty drone above you would be the reason you can see. And they'll be able to go, there's a drone there. I can shoot it. According to all sources, I'm starting to sing Weather Girls. No, the Delta battery is supposed to be working pretty fucking sexily. Right. Thank you for all the love. Feel free to message me. Feel free to join the Discord. Feel free to drop your org spotlight stuff in the Discord as well. Any predictions when the variants of the Quatless will be released? Probably pretty soon after the Cutlass. I suspect that might be the sort of stuff that we see released in the Delta patcher before patch 3.1, potentially. Do not hold me to that. Matt Sherman would go, no, they'll be in big patches, because he's more realistic than me, because he actually works on the game. Do you have updated PC specs? I think they're down below. I think I've updated them. I haven't put the Optane in there yet, though. But, are we feeling worked out yet? I think the mechanics are probably worked out and fleshed out. We just don't know any more about them. Alright. Do you think Donald Trump will be the president of ArtCorp? Yeah, why the fuck not? Anyway, thank you very much, guys. I love your face. We're going to go host to work now. Go see him here. I'll be in the chat, and I'll be eating. Will the displays in the Mustang be fixed 3.0? So there's been massive changes with the item system 2.0. Think of a lot of the stuff basically as a whole new game. Ships are going to fly differently. Systems going to work differently, and everything's been overhauled for item system 2.0. And the reason that 3.0 is taking such a long time to come out is because they are trying to iron out all the bugs they can with all the ships, and with all the displays and the MFDs and everything. So just bear that in mind. And using 300i, we work. No, other than they're working on it, we don't know that much. But I fucking love your faces, right? Ooh, pew, pew, pew. Take care. Right. Have some fucking people to work.